Hello there. Welcome back to BUZZISTIC. Do you love listening to stories? Who can endure a worthy story, especially when it being divulged with confounding visualizations? Pin one hope song. The story, which we are going to grasp presently, will bring forth lots of amusement, mastering new skills, and provide you hours of relaxation, zeal, and zest. So proceed on. Why don't you do well in the fun? If you derive pleasure from, do like, share, and subscribe to BuzzStick and hit on the bell icon. You may have thought of, if farmers don't grow any food, what will we all eat? If farmers do such important work, why are they so poor? But there are rich farmers too, people who own lots of land, but many in our country till small pieces of land and so make less money. But I can tell you of a poor farmer woman who did not remain very poor but due to her sharp wit. Are you yelled to hear the story? Come on, let's go on. Now, we are going to see an interesting story from the book Grandma's Bag of Stories by Sudha Murthy named as Kavery and the Thief. Sudha Murthy is a renowned author known for her impeccable style of writing. This story is about a woman named Kavery who is smart and hardworking. On the other hand, the other character in the story, the thief, an idiot who gets fooled by Kavery not one but three times. So what did a simple village woman do to save herself and village from a cunning thief? We'll now see what happens to them. Kavery's lazy husband annoyed her no end. There she was working like a donkey in the fields, plowing and watering and tending a hard, dry piece of land, while her husband snored away happily at home. While once, when a stranger came asking for some food and water, he just pointed towards the kitchen and went back to sleep. The stranger thankfully was an honest man and took only enough for himself and his horse. Not that there was much to steal in Kavery's little house. They were poor farmers with only a patch of land where nothing seemed to grow. Somehow, Kavery tilled the land, did some odd jobs in the neighborhood, and made ends meet. The land was right next to a temple. On some days, her husband would come along with her on the pretext of helping her, but no sooner would her back be turned than she would find him stretched out near the temple courtyard gossiping with passing villagers. One day, as she was working in the field, trying to dig up the ground, so she could sow some seeds, a thin man with a big mustache appeared beside her. He was a thief and up to no good. Kavery, of course, did not know this. She greeted him politely and went back to her work. Now, the thief wanted to steal the coins that were given as offerings in the temple and perhaps even the ornaments on the idol. The only way into the temple was by digging his way in from Kavery's land. But how could he do anything there with this tough, no-nonsense woman working away? Guessing Kavery was hard up for money, he whispered to her, "Sister, why are you working so hard on this barren land? I will give you 1,000 rupees, sell it to me." Kavery raised her eyebrows. Why did he want to buy the land for so much money? Surely something was wrong. The thief sensed she was not about to sell it to him, so he raised his price. 1,050? No. 2,000? No again. 5,000? No. Kavery kept shaking her head. She did not like this odd-looking man who was offering her so much money for the field. Clearly, he had some evil plans. Finally, to keep him quiet, she made up a story. "I will never sell this land. You see, it belonged to my ancestors. Now we are poor. But I'm told that once our family was very rich, so we lost a lot of our money. Much of it was also buried here in this field by one ancestor to keep it safe from robbers. Then people forgot about it for years and years. My husband found a clue to the location of hidden treasure just a few days back. Why do you think I'm digging this harder? Not to sow seeds. Oh no, that's just what everyone thinks. I'm actually looking for hidden treasure." The thief was stunned. He felt this woman was really innocent, giving some important information to the stranger. He thought, why should I not take advantage of this situation? Here he was, hoping to steal a few coins from the temple, and this woman was telling him about hidden treasure. He replied in a very humble way, "Yes, sister, I understand. After all, it's your family treasure. Only you should get it. He pretended to walk away and went and hid himself a little way down the road. Night fell. Kavery packed up her tools and headed home. The temple too emptied out and the priest locked it for the night. Then at midnight, when all was quiet and the night creatures were coming out of their homes, the thief crept into the field. All night he dug and dug, looking for treasure. But of course, there was no sign of it, as there never had been any treasure to begin with. By the time dawn broke, he realized Kavery had made a fool of him, and all he could do now was get away from the field fast. When Kavery reached the field, she grinned to herself. Just as she had expected, the thief had spent the night digging up the land nicely for her. All she needed to do now was sow the seeds. She worked hard in the field for next few months and managed to grow a good crop. She sold those and finally they had some money. With a part of this money, Kavery bought some jewelry. Many months later, the thief decided to show his face in the village again. He was careful to disguise himself though. He trimmed his long mustaches, tied a colorful turban and pretended to be a traveling salesman. No sooner had he stepped into the village than he saw Kavery going about her work. But what is this? Instead of simple, unadored lady he saw last year, she was now wearing jewelry which looked as though it had been in the family for years. Surely she must have located that missing treasure finally. He was determined to look in her house and find the rest of her money and treasure. That night, he appeared at Kavery's house and said to her husband, "I'm a traveler and don't have a place to spend the night. Please give me shelter for the night." Kavery's husband agreed immediately. Kavery, however, glimpsed the man from inside the house and saw through his disguise. She knew he must be planning some robbery. So she said in a loud voice, making sure the visitor heard her, "Oh dear, your dear aunt is all alone at night and has asked us to come stay with her. You know how the dark scares her when your uncle is not there. Come, let's go there for night." Then lowering her voice a bit, yet making sure she was heard clearly, she continued, "Don't worry about the jewels. I have hidden them in the little holes in the house walls. No one will suspect a hiding spot." Then she came out and in a normal voice told the thief, "Brother, you can sleep in the veranda. The house will be locked." Want to know what happens next? Click on the description box.